A Gut Feeling. Conquer Your Sweet Tooth by Tuning Into Your Microbiome by Heather Ann Wise. Narrated by Rachel Fulginetti. Disclaimer. This book is not intended to replace medical diagnosis or treatment, only to aid in tuning into your own body and to give you the tools to make meaningful changes in your own health. For my father, my inspiration and guidance. Introduction. In the beginning of my search to uncover the cause of my insistent sugar cravings, I began paying attention to all sorts of strange maladies that I'd previously chosen to ignore. Some symptoms had become so familiar, such as bloat after eating, on and off itchy ears and throat, skin issues, and indigestion, that I assumed I would experience them my entire life. Other symptoms were relatively new: chronic fatigue, scattered thoughts, inability to focus, and an insatiable appetite. I started following possible health clues and researching how these issues, as well as symptoms of low blood sugar, despite my constant snacking, might be connected. In making changes one piece at a time, I started to uncover the intricate causes of my own myriad of ever-increasing, interwoven digestive health problems. Many of the studies I found were buried in academic journals and required a large amount of time to digest. Pun intended. At times, I found it necessary to look up medical terms in order to decipher the applicability of these studies to my own life. Study after study was pointing in the same direction. All my symptoms could be connected back to a deficiency of beneficial microbes in the gut and an overgrowth of pathogenic flora. Researching this further through a medical anthropological lens, I discovered that the average American adult has roughly 1,200 different species of bacteria residing in their gut, while the average Amerindian living in the Amazon of Venezuela has closer to 1,600 species. This gap might just be the key to addressing the epidemic of chronic conditions we face in the United States, compared to the diminutive amount of chronic illness found in less developed countries. In fact, some of the most common foods in the Western diet have been scientifically proven to wreak havoc on our delicate microbial ecosystem and further reduce the number of beneficial microbes residing there, which can trigger a host of other problems, such as a surge in pathogenic fungi. In an attempt to reflect on my own sugar habits and stress, which were beginning to feel beyond my control, I began to seek comfort in mindfulness through meditation and yoga. By turning to these practices rather than to sweets, I found myself beginning to understand the mechanisms in my mind behind my compulsion to eat sweets. I also found myself less critical after overdosing on cookies or other tempting sugar-stuffed snacks. I started to gain more clarity and focus as I recommitted myself again and again to cutting back on sugary foods, taking care of my microbiome, and connecting with my body through yoga and mindfulness to regain my whole health. As I gained an awareness of the many species of beneficial flora that live within me and how to foster their growth, and turned away from sugar and other foods fostering the growth of pathogenic flora, I was able to remap my gut ecology, shed weight, and feel a decade younger. Over time, people took notice of a change in my appearance and energy. They wanted to know what I'd done. The ring of belly fat I'd carried around my waist since childhood seemed to evaporate without any extra exercise or effort, and my face regained its rosy complexion. My foggy thinking disappeared, my anxiety dwindled, and I stopped getting regular infections. I felt more lively and energetic than ever. I was sleeping better at night and living a more colorful existence during the day. I even found a deeper sense of inner peace and trust in my everyday choices. Best of all, my sugar cravings were gone, and I felt confident in my food choices. For the first time in my life, I could trust my body's signals. I had a renewed faith in my natural ability to gauge what I needed to eat and to maintain my new state of health. Now, years after clearing up my health conditions, starting my own health coaching practice, and helping others experience the same benefits to their health and energy as I did years ago, I've condensed all I learned into the following chapters of this book. I hope that my story and the stories of others, backed up with the latest research, can help you reclaim a connection to your body's inner cues so that you can come to trust your own judgment about your body and your health. Now is your time. It's time to stop beating yourself up after stuffing your face with sweets or for other bad habits, and to start devoting your full attention to the life you want to live, rather than the one you don't. Imagine the feeling of freedom when you've accomplished this, and how it will transform your self-image and self-confidence throughout all areas of your life. In what areas of your life do you wish you had the courage and fortitude to do something differently? Taking this first step toward cutting back on sweets will create a ripple effect in all other areas of your life. Now is the time to take charge of your health and live boldly. The research and stories I present in this book are proof that we do have the ability to listen to our bodies and take the necessary steps to change the course of our health and lives. However, we can't just change our diet. We need to change our mindset, too. It's time to end self-criticisms of your body and bad habits and begin to practice gratitude for your unique body, heart, and mind. During my personal journey with sugar addiction, I discovered that focusing on the outcomes that I wanted to happen was a much more powerful approach than going back over my failures and setbacks. Self-kindness and self-compassion have been integral to healing my own microbiome and addiction to sugar. My personal journey through sugar addiction and a disrupted microbiome taught me the most invaluable life lesson. By cultivating an awareness of the cues our body is giving us about food cravings and stress, we can develop trust in ourselves and ultimately become the biggest advocate for our health. That's why I'm not just going to give you a diet plan and tell you that as long as you follow this regimen, you will be free of your sugar highs and lows forever. Instead, I will share my research on how to heal the gut and get rid of uncontrollable sweet cravings by adding in a class of foods that have been ignored and scorned for far too long, while giving you tools to manage your stress-induced sweet tooth. I will also share my story of how I healed my gut and navigated through all the obstacles that arose in the process of overcoming my own sugar habits. I'll share the research behind the approach I take with my health coaching clients and provide exercises to support you in setting goals and addressing negative mind snares that get in the way. Ultimately, though, I leave it up to you to decide for yourself what the best course of action is for your body. As you listen to this audiobook, I invite you to reimagine the life you're living and open yourself up to a world of possibilities. You will discover a new way of satisfying your body and your sweet tooth that will allow you to permanently break the cycle of overeating sugary foods. By the end of this book, you will have a newfound understanding of your body, your cravings, and your sweet tooth, and will be able to address your eating habits with self-compassion rather than self-criticism. This, in turn, will empower you with the skills to tap into the inner workings of your body and listen to all the signals it is giving you. Your body is a web of interchanging parts, constantly extracting as many nutrients from your food as it can and using them in thousands of ways to support your body's natural healing processes. It's time to finally begin healing your relationship with food and your body. As you begin to feel differently in your skin through my diet recommendations and mindfulness exercises, you will start to envision your body as the magnificent system that it is and treat it accordingly. Most importantly, In rebalancing your microbiome.